Welcome back, boys. Today we have one from Aaron Knightley. I will never go back to a job. Self-employment versus employment. Let's check it out.
The reasons I will never go back to a 9-to-5 job, and I choose self-employment, business and entrepreneurship any day of the week, and I just never will go back. And I think this video is really going to resonate with a lot of people. It will hit home, and I hope to wake a few of you up. Because for me, I escaped not because I was financially driven, but because I didn't want to deal with the BS, the office politics, the co-workers, the drama, the control. We're going to jump into all of this in much more detail in a moment, but I want to give full context before we get into the bulk of this video. Now, who is this video and who is it not for? Well, if you are happy to remain in a job, build someone else's dreams, conform, this video isn't for you. But perhaps you have insecurities or imposter syndrome, or you lack self-belief. Well, maybe you want to continue watching, because I'll also talk about the reality, the accessibility, how the world has changed, and actually getting out of a job isn't about building the biggest business. You don't need to have a big limited company, having hundreds of thousands of millions of pounds going through Companies House.
Yeah, a lot of people, they kind of like, they see too far. They jump too far ahead and they create a headache for themselves. It's like, bro, you haven't even started. The fuck are you thinking about? Employees and shit. You haven't even begun. And yeah, it's different now. Now you don't need, you can create companies without even having like stock, or you don't have to own shit. You can use services that basically do the shit that you had to do before for you. So if you have like a clothing, some kind of brand or some shit, you don't even have to have it physically there with you. You can just have somebody else manage it or store it for you and shit. There's many like different logistics behind it. And the same with like passions. Like if you have a passion for something, or you make let's say something with your hands. Let's say you make furniture, or you're some kind of like stone mason or something. You can sell that. If you go on social media and you leverage that, that shit can blow up and you can make a lot of fucking money while making the videos showing how you make the chairs or how you do your stone masonry. Like people are very interested in that. And the same with YouTube. You can share your stories, your life, especially if you're an older dude. A lot of young dudes are fucking lost, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're waiting for some old dude to just swoop up and capture them, and they will listen, and you can get a good business out of that. So there's many different ways to do shit, but too many people, I don't know what it is. Is it they talk too much and then end up doing nothing? Or are they just lazy? Or do they not have enough conviction for their dreams and ambitions? Like, I don't...
Just to get out of a job, you don't need loads of staff, an office, a warehouse that you need to rent. You could start a little solid trading company, become a content creator, monetize your passion, whatever it is, and that would allow you eventually to leave your job if you know what you're doing and you can commercialize and switch on your entrepreneurship mindset.
There's so many people that they're not that different from you. They're not much better than you. They just went all in whatever they wanted and they won. Too many people give up too easily. It's like they fail and it's like, oh, okay, it failed. It's like, no, don't look at it as a failure. Look at it as a lesson. Like, what did you learn from this? What worked? What didn't? And yeah.
Now look, for me, it's very simple. I wanted happiness. I wanted a life by design, which was built around me and my family. I wanted choice. I wanted options. I wanted full control. And I'm also aware and all of you should be, with the amount of information that's being circulated on the internet and just how much has come to light. We are in a rigged system, and I refuse to be a part of that. We're also in a society where it's normal to fall into consumer spending. Halloween, you spend money. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas Day, all these events and festivals and, you know, national days, we go out and we spend money, we become a slave to the wage, you become trapped, you go get the mortgage, you have the family and everything like that, and then you're locked into a job for the next 45 years of your life building someone else's dreams. I was just aware, like, I don't know, maybe I was ahead of my time, I'm not sure, but I was aware. I had my son at a very young age, thank God. He gave me perspective, made me selfless, and then I began pursuing entrepreneurship and educating myself. But why will I never go back? Well, it's not about the money, although that's a great thing. You know, when you work for yourself, you can earn as much money as you want. You know, your revenue is based on results. Okay, so let's start with co-workers. You go into an environment you don't particularly want to be in, but you have to be there to earn money and pay your bills. And then you are put with people you wouldn't choose to be with on the outside world. And that just didn't sit well with me. Like, I have high values and standards of those that I want to be around, talk to, learn from, you know, and just have general conversation. And I just found I just didn't really have much in common with people. Yes, I got on and I was polite and I had some good banter, but ultimately we didn't share the same visions, we didn't have things in common. And I suppose, again, I was just aware of this and I wasn't comfortable spending 40 hours a week with people who will backstab, they'll brown nose, they'll have alter egos, they will play people off against each other. You know, it is very dog eat dog. I talk about the employed world like a pyramid. Starts very wide at the base, but the higher you go up, it becomes very acute as you go up in promotions and people are snapping at your heels. You know, you have to remember co-workers are driven by the wage at the end of the month, and they will typically, 90% of co-workers will do everything and anything they need to in order to survive in their job, which means if you're in the firing line, they will throw you under a bus. I don't care what anyone says about, well, I love my co-workers, I trust them.
Oh yeah, it's such bullshit in these like companies. Oh yeah, we're family. Oh, we're this, we're that. They throw some, instead of giving you a proper raise, they give you like a little, like, just cents fucking raise, and a shitty pizza party with like cheap ass cola. Not even like the good Coke, but like cheap Coke.
We back each other, we've become lifelong friends. I do not care if both of you are in the workplace and push comes to shove, they will throw you under a bus, period. Because they are feeding their families, they are not feeding yours. It is very, very, very rare, and I do understand there are some occasions where you can create real friendships, but you have to, again, share very similar values and have the same standards in life, and then you might match up. But 9 times out of 10, you are going to be surrounded with people who do not have your best interests at heart, and they are there serving themselves first. But if we look on the other side of entrepreneurship, oh my God, what a different world. Collaborative, supporting. You know, I have friends who are other business owners and they just ring you up. Is there anything I can do? My guy at Melite Parfumes sent me down a load of, you know, like sprays and aftershaves and just said, look, buddy, I just want to send them to you. I have Matt Fidesz ring me up the other day asking how business is going. Matt Fidesz is super successful. I have friends that literally do millions upon millions of pounds in terms of business revenue who are well ahead of me, just constantly asking, do you need anything? Or next time you're in London, come up and see us and pop into the office. And it's so collaborative and supportive. And at times it's so overwhelming with how nice entrepreneurs and other business owners are. But there's this misconception that successful people are like Scrooge and bar humbug and bad people and they steal from the poor. And honestly,
Yeah, from my experience, it's always like the people who have less that they become like envious as fuck, and they try to like smother your dreams because they have none of their own. They've given up and they want you to give up as well. Never fucking do that, by the way.
Unless you step into the world and you go start networking in London and put yourself around these people, you will look back at your job and you will think, why on earth am I putting up with these negative, toxic people who just constantly play this political, corporate poker game, trying to do one over on everyone? But yet you step into entrepreneurship, and it is, honestly, the more you help each other, the more you collaborate, the more you support each other, it comes back in waves. And I could never go back to a workplace environment where it literally is dog eat dog, and that's the God's honest truth. Which then leads me into office politics. I could not stand office politics. I mean, it drove me mad, the amount of people that would literally play the drain.
Like being in like bigger like companies, or like just more people and like more managers and shit, it's like, holy fuck, the amount of like gossip and shit. And the thing is, the people who talk the most and play the game the most with like the office politics and shit, they can get away with most. Like they don't do the work, and they don't put it in the work. They hardly do their fucking job, and they're shit at their job, but because they talk to everyone and they kiss the fucking boss's ass and shit, they get treated right. But if you just come in there just to work and you don't really give a fuck about much of this other bullshit, they ostracize you and try to get you fired, or things just go bad if you don't play along with their games.
Draining game of politics, and some people even get off on it. Quick swig. You know, gossiping. For some people, they actually get off on gossiping and talking behind each other's backs, and it's just draining. And I mean, I used to stay out the drama, and I would never get involved in it because, like I say, I would live by my motto, last one in, first one out. I'd do my job, do it efficiently, and then I'd go home, and I was just constantly working on myself until the day I could leave. But the office politics, you have zero politics when you work for yourself. And again, in context, in the online world, I'm not talking about running a big corporate company of 200, 300, 400 people. That's not what I'm referring to in my videos. Again, full context, online business, lean scale up, freelance, remote workers. Yes, I have team members, but they're remote, they're freelance, they're entrepreneurs themselves, they work their own times. That's what I'm on about. There's zero politics. At the moment, I have 17 members within my personal brand. Within our events company, we have up to about 11 people at any one point working. Zero politics. Zero. I deal with no politics, and that is just something that is so refreshing, and you don't have any mental health problems from that. You know, it's not draining on your mindset. You know, it's not taking up any brain space. The other thing is as well for me,
yeah, for me, leaving like a bigger company was like massive. It was like, holy fuck, there was so much garbage, so unnecessary amount of garbage and speaking. I just wanted to do my fucking job and go home. That's it. That's about it.
While I'd never go back to a 9 to 5 is I just wasn't comfortable building someone else's dreams. And I don't know if you are, but I'm not. I know that as human beings, we can push ourselves to limits we don't even think are possible at times. I am not prepared or happy to exchange my one precious asset I'll never get back, which should be only going to me and my family, which is time. Again, it's not making the most amount of money, which is the biggest flex, and having materialistic things. How much time do you have? Like, I love recording and filming YouTube videos to hopefully inspire other people and help them out. And I love getting in the car and filming these YouTube videos because I have time to do this. Okay, I've created the time for myself. And remember, you can't buy it, you can't save it, you can't invest it, you can only spend time. So what are you doing with it? Become aware of where is your time going. So that I wasn't happy with. When you work for yourself, yeah, for sure. Depending on the business model and how much you can automate and build teams and stuff like this, and if you're online, yes, you're gonna need to put in time and effort to build your own thing. Have I done long hours? Gosh, yeah, I've done long hours. Yeah, I've done the 15, the 18-hour days in the past.
This YouTube channel I'm running now, this shit does not feel like fucking work compared to being outside in the fucking winter fixing some fucking roof, which I have done multiple winters actually. Like this shit is so fucking chill. It's so easy. All I have to do is just learn, become better, and speak more truth. That's kind of my goal right now, is to look through videos, see what I can learn, commentate, and help people and inspire them. And I see so many dudes have such a wrong mindset when it comes to just life in general, reality. They live in, they've been tricked. They have been tricked there since childhood. They have these uh, st- just stupid ideas about dating and life in general. And I try to show men that, like, what could be. Life doesn't have to be this shit. It can be better. So, yeah.
I don't do that now, but in the beginning for sure. But to the people that say, well, there you go, you have to work all the hours under the sun and everything like that. Yeah, in the beginning, but it's for me and my family. It's to leave something behind that my son can take over, and or we could sell and I could exit out of the, you know, the business and the brand. Yeah, that's a whole nother video about selling brands now. That's becoming a really big thing. So that's the difference. I just wasn't happy working in a rig system, going through this Groundhog Day, building someone else's dreams, when I know that education has never been more accessible. Networking, podcast, Audible books, YouTube, TikTok, getting a mentor, you know, having a coach, free information, free groups, free communities or paid communities, whatever you choose to do. There's all this information, we absorb it and then we just need to apply it. Why on earth would I carry on going through Groundhog Day when I know I could change my life? So that never sat well with me. So I would always build my own dreams. The other thing is I felt very trapped and controlled. Aaron, you got to start your shift at this time. You got to finish at this time. This is when you have your break. This is when you have your lunch. You can only have 28 days holiday.
Yeah, like, holy fuck. Like, this shit is, that shit annoys the fuck out of me. Like, working and it's like, oh, you started your break 1 minute early. I'm gonna give you a half an hour pay cut. It's like they say stupid shit like that. It's just to fucking annoy you. Yeah, that shit is annoying as fuck.
A year. You have to ask permission for a day off. I now don't answer to anyone. Literally, I answer to no one. No one rings me out, Aaron, you got to do this. No one. There are some people that go, well, you answer to HMRC. Well, not really. I pay my taxes. So what? You know, but I don't answer to anyone. I don't answer to customers. I don't answer to anyone, because we are in such a blessed world of automation, online, evergreen content. Create something once, it forever serves you and pays you forevermore. Digital products, e-learning, services, consulting, coaching. And for some people who don't want to admit,
I think in the future, I'm thinking of starting like a, you know, merch. That's usually the way to go for this YouTube stuff. I'm gonna make some merch, but I have some ideas. Oops, I was just about to say some stuff. I'm gonna shut my mouth. But it's in the works. I've been thinking of ideas, and I'm hoping to launch that. And yeah.
the world is changing and navigating away from the physical industry purely to online, well, you need to take your head out the sand and grab your surfboard, because there's a wave coming. It's already happening. Online is where it's at. For big money, scalability, automation and passive income, you know, up to 75-80% of passive income. Yes, you've got to do certain things, but, you know, passive income is a real thing. So I wanted to take control. I'm happy to take the pressure, the responsibility, the stress of building something for myself, opposed to the stress, the mental downfall, the loss of identity, the alter ego, all the problems, the office politics, the backstabbing, constantly having...
I think with the economics, with how the job market is today in the Western world, I think we're going back to like medieval times, really, or like before, like all of this. What is it, like the, can we say industrial revolution? And before everybody had their own farm. Everybody had, like, families had their own farm, and they had to work. They were uh what is it, like renting farmers or something? I can't quite remember, but everybody used to have their own thing going on, and they work for themselves. But now it's split. It's inverted. Now everybody's an employee. They don't own their business. They don't control shit. And I think we're really coming back to this shit, that people see what the fuck is going on. There are no jobs, fucking ghost jobs, collecting all your fucking data. And they see this shit and they're like, okay, fuck, if I can't get a job, then I guess I'll fucking create my own. Fuck it. And that's what's happening. A lot of like small, like local, like stores, like boutique type things, making their fucking candles or soap and shit like that. I love supporting that shit. It's far better to buy from your local small little business owner that actually gives a fuck about the product and you as the customer. You can buy like natural products, none of this bullshit from these large corporations. You can see, you can speak to the creator of the product, of what exactly what is in the product that you're gonna use. And I love that. It's beautiful. So I am 100% for small businesses and supporting that.
To be one step ahead in the corporate world, not bothered about that. I will take control, responsibility any day of the week, building something for myself. The other thing is capped earnings. I wasn't happy being told, oh, by the way, just let you know, there's another 2% pay rise coming up next year. 2% pay rise. Sorry, what? Even on a promotion. I'm not being funny, this baffles me when people will literally graft, brown nose, backstab, suck up to managers, become a manager's pet for 2 years, 3 years for a promotion of 5, 10, 15, 20 grand gross.
Yeah, I met people that like they worked for like a decade or some shit in a company, like they've sucked up, and it's like since their youth they haven't really even walked a little. Like they never took a step for their own. They always listened to everybody else's shit, and they never, how do you say it? They never took action for their own life. They never did what they wanted to do. They just listened all the time to everybody fucking else. And what everybody else wants is not as good as what you want for yourself. You pick. Like, what?
Really? It baffles me that some people are actually happy to go for a promotion, to be paid peanuts in addition to what they're on, and graft 2 years pretending to be someone else, fake enthusiasm, fake laughing, going out on the works do, sucking up, you know. God, be yourself, be authentic, be happy, have no anxiety and depression, and build your own thing. I'm very fulfilled and I have a huge amount of purpose doing my own thing, but also the great thing is your earnings are not capped. Like, I can earn as much money as I want doing my own thing, you know, and that's what's great. When you take that level of responsibility, it's a whole nother level, you know, it really is. So take that responsibility, apply it to yourself, educate every day, and honestly, when it comes to earnings, you'll never be capped. You'll always earn more and more money. Which leads me on to the next point, mental health issues. How many people do we know that have mental health issues due to the workplace because they're unhappy? I mean, my God, there are so many people that go into a job who are suffering with anxiety and depression and who have really crumbled as a human being because they're unhappy and they're being bullied, harassed. They have to conform. They're being told what to do. There's a coworker, there's a manager that's micromanaging them, putting them on a performance review wrongly, that they're being tested and teased and threatened with loss of jobs and company restructure. And there's nothing that they can do about it because they've fallen into the trap.
Yeah. A lot of like shout out to like kind of younger dudes my age, because they don't give a fuck about this shit. They'll leave. Oh man, they kind of tell the boss to shut the fuck up and they just go, because being micromanaged in every single way, like this shit like takes a fucking toll out of you. You're a grown ass fucking man, and you're being told to fucking, oh, you took fucking lunch early 1 minute. and they get threatened and teased and fucking bullied. Like I've seen young dudes get bullied like a lot by like older colleagues and shit and teased. Like that's not a good environment for a fucking person. And it's like you're forced to go there every fucking day just to fucking survive and pay your fucking bills. So I mean, doing your own thing, it's you're alone, but you don't get no bullshit from others, which is a pretty good thing, I would say.
Of spending money that they earn, so living to their wage, that makes them very vulnerable, and then they go on to have mental health issues. I know many men, unfortunately, that are struggling mentally in their workplace because they are so tied to their salary that they then become such a different person to who they know. They're not authentic. They know deep down that they're not being authentic.
Yeah, their fucking spirit, their entire soul is getting crushed in these environments, bro. It's horrendous for you as a man and your growth. Take steps to change that immediately, definitely.
It plays on them. Their mental health really takes a battering, and this all comes from the
It's like working like working a normal job, like let's say a 9 to 5. Like it can be comfortable, but if you have like toxic fucking colleagues and managers or like whatever the fuck, and this shit causes friction every fucking day, that shit has a toll on you. Just the amount of like weakness that grows in you being in these environments, it's legit damage. It's damaging you as a man. Get out of these fucking toxic jobs. Shit is
9 to 5, and I'm not here to make out like the 9 to 5's really bad, because I actually really enjoyed my last job, by the way. So for anyone that doesn't know, I was in logistics.
It can be good, but in the wrong environments it can be horrendous. It's not even like you've heard it probably before, like I have. It's like people quit like a super toxic shit job, a well-paying job that is, and they switch to something that is less paying, and it's less stress, the colleagues are better, and the managers aren't up your fucking ass every second micromanaging your shit. And it's like aspect of work, it doesn't have like a price on it, right? I mean, you can see that you get less salary by the end of the month, but just imagine like the mental gains you have out of that, the kind of life quality upgrade of that shit. And the next step is of course starting your own shit from that better job that is.
I did enjoy my job. I did 4 on, 3 off. I did a 10-hour shift. I enjoyed the job, and it got me by, and it served a purpose, but I did not enjoy the politics. I did not enjoy everything that I've said. And now that I do work for myself and I am responsible for everything that I do, which I'm happy to take that responsibility, I know I will never go back because I have too much opportunity, too much potential. My network is honestly such a blessing, and I know that if I ever got in a spot of bother, or I come against a hurdle that I'm not sure how I can jump over, or I hit a bottleneck in my business, I know that the support and communication is there to be had. I know that I can reach out to people who will help and support me. So knowing what I know now, and I hope passing this information on to you, that you at least explore your passions and hobbies. Because here's the thing as well, in the exciting world that we're in, Gary Vee did a video recently, and he was like, people have no idea how in the next 5 years everything will be monetized. And he was like, if you like going out walking, you can literally pay someone to walk with you. Everything will be a career. How do you make something out of nothing? How do you monetize a passion or a hobby? You learn to position yourself as the authority in the niche that you...
There's so many different aspects like you can do. Let's say social media, this YouTube shit. Let's take gaming for example. All right, that's a very big thing. I'm sure a lot of people know about it. like you can become popular and make money off gaming if you're really good at the game, but most people are not. So you have to use your personality. You have to be funny. You have to do different things, and there's also like a niche specific. So let's say you're like really passionate about like an old game nobody's playing. You can still make money out of that because your passion for the game can, like, there's people. Let's take Jinxie for example. He blew up playing Rainbow, what was it, Rainbow Six Siege, and he basically like revived the fucking game because he was such a personality. He was so funny, and the thing is, he was good at the game, right? But he wasn't like the best player, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's many different things you can do.
you enjoy or you're passionate about. Positioning, so how you are viewed, how you are perceived by people listening, which means you need to educate people. Okay, so be a how-to, a tips, a trips, tips and tricks, an informer, right? Provide information. And then it's about how do you commercialize that? How do you market the thing that you're really passionate about? And how do you create a service or a product off the back of that? That comes from problem solving. How do you figure out a pain point and how do you then provide a solution to that pain point? And just think about it, you can do that for anything. So yeah, look, it's not about earning huge amounts of money. It's about freedom, happiness, choices, resources, living a life by design, not one that's assigned to you. And I think at this point, I must say, if you haven't checked out my full course tutorials, they're all free, by the way, right? There's no selling. One is how to quit your job and build an online business. And in that tutorial, I really break down the reality of how
This one was nice. This one was a good video. As an adult, you have to seek permission from another adult so you can take 2 weeks off to live your life. I've always been asked why I'm taking holidays. Why I'm taking holiday, for fuck's sake. I am 40 years old and I will turn 41 in August, and I was fired recently by a young manager of one dimension mindset. Only 30 days at the unstructured startup company, I realized I really just wanted to start my own business and never return to the nepotism and corporate adolescent politics. My mind is too much beyond that buffoonery. Fuck. Bro, one thing I have to do is learn to fucking read better. It doesn't help that this shit is not my first language, but still. I was wrongfully fired 14 years ago and won a lawsuit against the company. I told myself I'll never work for anyone again. I currently own my own business for the past 14 years. On Friday, I took half a day and went to a food and wine festival, and right now I'm laying at the hotel pool and writing this at 4 p.m. Guys, just do it. You'll be happy. It's a lot of work, but it doesn't feel like it. That's what I said. Oh, bro, I could do this shit 12 hours a day. Because I've worked as a fucking carpenter on a winter fucking roof 12 hours a day. I know, bro, there's such hard shit I've done throughout my life, which isn't even work. Just general growing up as a kid, seeing all the different bullshit. It's like this shit is, I'm walking on fucking clouds, bro. I love doing this shit. And I want to learn more, educate men, listen to their problems, help them out, stop all this degeneracy and like just in general, just hatred among people. This war against man versus women, this war on religion, this like general like ignorance. That's the shit I'm fighting, is ignorance. That is my number one enemy, and my fucking my tool is truth. I try to use just the truth. I try not to have any biases towards anything. I try to be as analyzing as possible. So I hope you guys are in for a good. I hope you guys enjoy the ride. I should say. Self-employed for 4 years now. It's not easy at all, but I'll never work for someone ever again. Ooh. I recently quit a toxic full-time job and went back to a part-time job that I like a lot more. But it's minimum wage, so I won't get me by forever. I'm so much less stressed now that I don't have to deal with rude and nasty people, but I'm trying to use my extra time to build myself up as a self-employed artist. Yeah, this is the thing, bro. Like you can't put a fucking price on just in general, like bro, just think about it. You're like what, 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day with people. You want those fucking people to not be draining, because if they are, they're gonna drain 8 9 they'll have 8 or 9 hours to fucking drain your fucking life. And the thing is, I've met like people that try to like pry into your fucking private life and shit when they're fucking snakes. Like fuck that shit. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this one. I catch you boys on the next one. Take care of yourself.